So boom, here we are again, mate. It is long overdue. As always, I've made a video, just haven't uploaded it. And yeah, I've been kind of taking the piss when it comes to making videos, but I just haven't been feeling it. And yeah, excuses, but I'm here now. And yeah, I picked up weed, and I was thinking back to the times where I just used to pick up weed and then come on and make a video. Whereas I've just been picking up weed and just smoking it and fucking moping. So I thought I'll come on and smoke one for old time's sake. Hope you're staying blessed. Life is treating you well. I'm doing okay-ish. Like overall, it's going well. I had a little trip to Spain. Well, it's the Canary Islands, so it's the islands of Spain. And yeah, I done a little clip in a coffee shop. And yeah, but overall the trip was good. It was nice to get some heat in my bones. I got another one planned in a few weeks' time. And yeah, also, we were on the whole I don't know, goals, money thing. Do what you want. Nice weed though. I felt a bit stagnant in recent times. And yeah, but it's all good, mate. Like, it's all good. I've just been keeping it together. Also, there was a recent situation that arrived where I also, actually, side note, I went to Halifax on a random one, and I met a subscriber just randomly. Like, I was going through town with a spliff. I was playing some music about 8 o'clock at night, and these guys were trying to roll a spliff. It was a bit cold, and they couldn't manage to roll it, so I rolled the spliff for them. But they'd asked me if I rolled a spliff because they'd seen me like walking through the street, like smoking a spliff. And I was like, yeah, blah blah blah. Ended up chatting with them for about an hour, just chilling, blazing up, so fucking stoned, so stoned. And then this guy was waiting on the bus. He ran over and was like, "Oh, watch your videos, blah blah blah." Pulled up his phone, was actually subscribed and everything. Like, but it was just all random. Halifax of all places, like just randomly turned up and just. I just thought it was weird, but I mention it because I've mentioned it before in so many videos. Like, I've mentioned so many things like in different videos, and then fucking I just don't post for video. Like literally, I don't post a video. I just make a video, yeah, of me just talking normal stuff of how I feel in the moment, and then I just second guess and be like, oh, what's the point? Blah blah blah. Oh, it's just so exhausting. Like it's so exhausting, but it's not, because it's just like it's only exhausting if you allow it to fucking consume your mind, which I do at some times, but or certain times even. But yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, but yeah, it's just been a bit weird. Like it's been a bit strange, and sometimes I like to just experiment. Like I like to run experiments, yeah, with people, and obviously, like there's been so many different situations that I've been in, and it's a case of if I would have done things differently, like how would it have worked out, blah blah blah. But once it's all said and done, I feel that none of it matters. Like none of it matters. But in the moment, people will advise you as if what they're saying matters. And I take it all on board and blah blah blah. And once it's all said and done, none of it matters. And I know none of it matters, so don't get all deep about it. Yeah, don't get all deep about it. But then at the same time, it frustrates me because it's like people are so convinced that their way is the right way. And it's just annoying. Like, it's annoying. But when it comes to people, there are occasions where I know that the person I'm speaking with or engaging with or have decided to spend my time on, it's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it. And this is the majority of situations. So there's not just one thing. This is not just a specific relationship or a specific friendship or a specific interaction. This is across the board, a sweeping statement. You're all full of shit, mate. But then obviously, sometimes I take it to the next level of depression and self-harm, and yeah, which obviously is a deep end, which I don't need to put my mind in. Like, I don't need to allow myself to get so like dark and depressive where I'm just like, no, just cut yourself. Like, do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, on the other side of the coin is that it's a lot easier for me to explain physical pain. Like if I slash my wrists, yeah, then it's a lot easier for me to explain that physical pain than it is for me to just be sad and feel helpless, but not be able to explain why I feel sad and helpless, because you just feel sad. Like, get over it. Like, you just feel sad. So yeah, it's weird. Like, it's weird. And obviously, first thing people say, oh yeah, but you shouldn't self harm. You shouldn't self harm. But it's like, throughout my life, yeah, I deal with situations a certain way, and I can be very black and white. Like I can talk about anything, but my mindset, as me personally, my inner human, as me as a core, like I'm very black and white, like very black and white. So for me, sometimes there's no grey area, and yeah, like I'm open to discuss things, but there's sometimes where I feel that just like yes, as I was saying, like throughout my life, like I've been told, like use your voice, communicate, don't smash things, don't curse people out, you know, don't use violence to prove your point or to express how you feel. And if I do all of those things, yeah, and I pay for shit as well, I don't rob things in terms of like the train and the supermarket. Right? If I'm doing all those things, then I expect things to go right, but it doesn't always go right. And I've learnt that. I literally have learnt that and understand that, or understand the concept at least. But at the same time, yeah, it's just frustrating, isn't it? But it's just frustrating because if I use my words, yeah, and then it just doesn't work, and I've explained something, then what else am I supposed to do aside from just like do a madness, like? But then the madness is only seen as the madness. It's not seen as why you're doing the madness. It's just, oh, you done a madness. There's no, oh, what caused you to do that madness? It's just, yeah, there's no wiggle room. Like that's when I find it a bit annoying because there's no wiggle room to understand why someone does the things that they do. It can be very one-sided, but then at the same time, I don't speak about it even more then because then it sounds a bit woe is me. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's have a pity party, which I'm a very big fan of a pity party. Like I love a good pity party, but at the same time, there's not nothing comes from it. Like nothing comes from it. The only thing that comes from me feeling sorry for myself is just me being more annoyed that I feel sorry for myself, especially with all the traveling that I've done and had all the different experiences and like knowing that there are people that generally got a shit life with no way or means of escaping it. Like that's just their lot. Like that's their lot. Whereas I've chosen to have a shit life. Do you know what I mean? All the problems that I've had in the last sort of 4 years, 5 years, which has changed my life and made me become someone completely different. I've chosen to become that person and put on the mask of that person, even if on the inside, like I'm not that person. Like my actions will be that person, and I'll take on the role of another person's life when I don't need to. Like I've just chosen to do that, which is really weird. Because why, if you have the knowledge, you have the education, like you have, like okay, yeah, I left school at 14, but I was doing shit. Like, do you know what I mean? I was working, I was going out, I was visiting different places, all mainly within government or policing, but yeah, I didn't know anything else, like, or anything different. So it wasn't hard for me to fucking conform because, do you know what I mean? I was fresh out of school, literally fresh out of school, and easily moldable. And yeah, but with that being said, I had a good grounding. Like, I had a good grounding, regardless of what you think of policing as a job path, or regardless of what you think of the police, like that was all I knew. So I had a grounding of very sort of strict rules and just beliefs, and that was it. Like there was no, like, do you know what I mean? There was no thinking, oh, I'm missing out. I should be going out and getting drunk, or I should be taking drugs because it's just, I should be smoking. Like, it just didn't enter my head. So why, if you've had that good grounding, would you then go and choose to live the life of someone that's been homeless and in and out of jail and just doesn't know anything? And even if they're not a criminal, they just don't know much about the world. Like, they don't know how things work. And I'm not saying I know how things work, because I don't. Because every time you think you know, like, life will show you something else and be like, you don't know anything. Like, do you know what I mean? You always think, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is why I get mad, because, like, every time you think you know something, you don't. Like, you don't. So that's why I have to question everything. But then at some point, you have to just settle for your own beliefs and values and stick to them and go through life with your own beliefs and values as a strong individual. And obviously without getting swayed left or right on your path. Like, do you know what I mean? So, which is easier said than done. It is easier said than done. I'm not preaching. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm just simply speaking how I'm feeling. So you have all the questions of why this, why that, why this. So like I say, you've got to stop asking yourself questions, yeah, and then just be like, okay, you know this now. So what are you going to do about it? Like, you yourself, one, as an individual, what are you going to do in order to navigate your way through life? And everything that's on the planet, use it to your advantage and allow it to work for you rather than against you. And the answer to that is stop using external means to solve an internal problem. Because it's not me. No, it's not the world. Like, it's not the world, it's me. Like, yes, there's things within the world which are shit, but that doesn't make you shit. Like, you can still navigate through that. And obviously sometimes that'll rub off on you, but there are also good things as well, which can also rub off on you and better your life. So, without going off on a tangent, what is the internal problem? What is the internal problem? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. There's the whole therapy, counselling, medication, CBT, although I lean towards the CBT rather than medication because I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I can't, or a psychiatrist, so I can't say to people, don't take medicine. Do you know what I mean? Because I'll happily smoke weed to make myself feel better. Or, do you know what I mean? If I'm on a night out or whatever, you do whatever. So, without even thinking about it, and none of that's regulated. Do you know what I mean? Recreational drugs is not regulated. So, like, it's very hypocritical for me. Like, because I love a good drugs debate. Like, do you know what I mean? I had a good discussion. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, yeah. But then I feel I can have the discussion because I've sat both sides of the fence. Do you know what I mean? So I have that even sort of balance and view on it. It's not just one sided. Like it used to be really one sided of just like no drugs ever, nothing. It's against the law, so don't do it. That's it. There was no. I didn't have any education as to what drugs were, how they made you feel, why people would take them, like what circumstances you can take them, when you don't take them, when you do. I had no education. Like the only education I had was like how to sneak drugs in, like how to like spike people, how to like conceal drugs, how to hide drugs within, I don't know, clothing or bags, or like that's the only thing I knew about drugs is how to like hide it, like because of like the work that I was doing. So that's all the training you get on drugs. Like you don't get taught about like the other side of like the family side and how it affects your family, the money side of it, the health side of it, like why people do it in the first place, how it makes you feel, like the benefits, the disadvantages. Like there's no sort of overall. It's just it's only one narrative. Like it's only one narrative that you're told. Like within policing, that it's just like, and then obviously leaning over to the medical side of things, doing St John's Ambulance. Again, it's like okay, you're starting to get a little bit of medical, but again, it's not really too much because the medical jobs that I would be doing would be frontline in terms of events. So you're dealing with like if you're sporting events, you've got cardiac arrests, you've got joint injuries, you've got accidents like crashes and shit. Like those are the sort of things you're dealing with. You wouldn't be dealing with drugs and whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe you would, but if it's like a proper race like Ride London or London to Brighton bike ride or a marathon or something, a major event, then you would have people that would drug test if they felt that was something that needed to be done anyway. That would be a separate thing done by the sports company. But in terms of public services, like you don't get involved in that. Like there's no like why would you? Like I didn't take drugs myself. Like I didn't smoke. Like I didn't. So therefore, I just believed what I was told. Like there was no reason for me to think any other way about drugs or crime in general, for that matter. Also, your thoughts are not real. Like your thoughts are not real. Like imagination. Like it was like Einstein, I think it was. But imagination is a preview of what your life can be. Like if you can imagine something and it's a preview of what can actually happen. Like if you can envision it, then it can happen. You can manifest it because within you you have the tools and the knowledge and the skills and the know-how to create that situation that you've thought about and imagined. But then when it comes to like just simply thinking but with no vision, that's not real. Like that's not something that's come into existence. That's just something that you've thought about. Like, yes, it could be happening. Like, it could be happening. Say you're thinking about something that's stressing you out and it's happening right now in the world or in your personal life and you know it's happening. But at the same time, like, your physical situation in that moment is not the thought that's in your head, if that makes sense. like for example, I could be thinking about, I don't know, a time where I got in a fight in town, or I got arrested, or I don't know, I got some sad news or whatever, yeah. But that thought is just a thought that's either previously happened. For me, it's just previous stuff. I don't really think about future stuff. Future stuff is more positive, but I'll get onto that in a moment. But like, if you're thinking about something negative that's bad that's happened or could happen, but for me, it's just that's happened already. That situation has passed. Like, but in my mind, it's like it's happening right now, even though I'm sat chilling, smoking a joint, like talking to you, and it's calm. Like everything's fine. Like I'm no longer in that situation. Time has passed. I've done loads of things since that situation happened. But yet, in your mind, it's still going over it, and you still having the same emotions and the same rush of feelings as if you was there. It's very bizarre. But then, with the positive side of thinking, it's a case of if you're thinking good things, then that makes you feel good, and then that puts you in a sort of position within the universe to navigate and find good things throughout that day. Although sometimes you could be thinking good things, you have everything set out to do good things, you even do those good things, but then sometimes things can throw you off still either way. And that's where it comes into knowing who you are inside and obviously moving forward and navigating all the bullshit that gets thrown at you in life, regardless of like anything else. But yeah, easier said than done. So stoned but not mongy, I like it. Like it's a really nice weed. He always has nice weed. I mean, there's been once or twice. And in recent times, he's been shorting me, which is really pissing me off. Which is why I like going to places where they have coffee shops because it's just like fucking. They don't. And there's so many people that fucking. Oh, I'll talk about this in a coffee shop video. Actually, that's something I could talk about. But there's so many people that fucking say, oh, this and that about the coffee shops, and like, oh, you can get spiked and get robbed and blah blah blah. It's like there's no reason for them to rob you. The only time where I've had bad experience in a coffee shop is if you fuck with them. Like that's the only reason. Like if you go in there and you just being a cunt, yeah, and like then yeah, fine. Like because at the end of the day, do you know what I mean? they're businessmen, but they're I don't want to use the word criminals either, but they're should we use the government term? OCG, like, do you know what I mean? They're OCG, like they're organised crime groups. So like, they're professionals, yes, but don't fuck with them. It's not fucking Tesco's. You can't just talk shit to them and then walk out the shop as if it's nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the only time where they're gonna remember you and like take your information, do some madness, or fucking spike your weed, or fucking give you shit weed, or fucking give you less. Like, there's no reason for them to rob you. They got a whole fucking shelf full of weed. Like, there's no reason for them to scam you. Like, just you just go in there and that's it. It's just simple. It's done. Like, otherwise, there's no reason. Like, do you know what I mean? There's no reason, and like, there's only maybe four coffee shops that I've been banned from, and that's again only because I was fucking with them and I was doing business and fucking, do you know what I mean? Like rolling joints for people, and then like I'd charge them and fucking selling shit and fucking getting my own weed and selling it and fucking, do you know what I mean? I was doing business, like it was cool. Like what can I say? Like it was a good time, but they don't like it and they'll get pissed off and they'll throw you out, and if they see you, they'll fuck with you. But otherwise, that's it. Like there was a few occasions where on the street, like, do you know what I mean? Oh, and some guy pulled a pistol on me, and then my mate fucking, I end up legging it, and then fucking my mate come out because he was chatting to someone across the road, and he come over and was like, oh, where's your mate? Blah blah blah. I started on him, fucking. Oh mate, he was really pissed at me. I went to his house. He's like, what the fuck, bro? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, otherwise that's the only time like you're gonna get something where they're gonna like start on you. But otherwise, it's very organized, and it's like they're not just gonna fucking savage you and fucking rob you and do all this mad shit. So it annoys me when people say that. It's like, oh, I was spiked in the coffee shop. Like, how? How was you spiked in a coffee shop? Like how can you get spiked? Like, okay, yeah, the weed is not what it should be, and blah blah blah, it's stronger, blah. But they literally got the percentage there. If you want to buy dead weed, it's right there. It's €4 a gram. Like, it's right there. Like, you can see it clearly. Whereas right now, in present times, in the situation I'm talking about now, it's like it's just so long. Like, he's just been shorting me, shorting me, shorting. I told him, I was like, look. And fair enough, the weed is always good, quality over quantity. Also, do you know what I mean? He's all right. Like, he is all right, but it's just like, oh, fucking hell, mate. Like, just so long. Like, like for me, it's not a big issue. Like, it really isn't a big issue because overall, like, once it's all said and done, going to get the weed, collecting the weed, like the whole thing, like, it's not that much of an expense. Do you know what I mean? But it's just nice. It's just nice to have that freedom with weed, just to be like, right, do you know what I mean? I've got a fucking shelf of weed. What do you want? Rather than, oh, I've got fucking, do you know what I mean? Oh, here's a little bit. No, 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 no. Like, fucking hell, mate. Yeah, okay, fine. You'll be like, oh, but I know this one, I know that one, and blah, 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 and they do this, and that, whatever. Good for you, bro. But if you're in a coffee shop, bro, it's a different level. Regardless of how good you think your dealer is, they're not going to match a coffee shop. Like, but yeah, it's kind of decent though because I've got a video I made. Like, I made a little mini video. So, in fact, I could even, although the coffee shop videos I have at the moment on my channel are from the Netherlands, and they're also from one coffee shop in particular called Easy Times, which I don't have beef with them actually. I was never banned or anything like that. They was always good to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Always good to me. He gave me drinks and shit. But it's just their prices. Like, they had a revamp. And their prices just went sky high because they was so popular. And they're literally right by 3 hostels. Like, the red light district is like not far away. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a good coffee shop. It's a good coffee shop, but busy, like really busy. So it's not. It's okay to chill if you go in there with people. Like, I went in there and chilled on my own. It was alright, but yeah, just depends. But I was quite early. That was one of the first coffee shops I went to, and it was right by my accommodation at the time. So it was just convenient for me. So I just kind of stuck to it. But then I branched out and started going other places, and then realised it was quite pricey. So I stopped going. But when I was going there initially, it was quite reasonable. So, but yeah, I've got the video. But it's good. I've briefly spoken about that actually because it's reminded me and it gets me a little bit pumped. Like, it gets me a little bit pumped to just speak about things overall and actually speak about how they were. Because, like I say, sometimes I just get all like, oh, doom and gloom, but it wasn't actually that bad. Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, life isn't that bad. I mean, and I've got the video, like I said, so I can give a little visuals on what I'm speaking of, literally. But that just means I've got to fucking edit it and fucking put it together, which is fine, but I do like to long it, so fuck knows when that will get up. But I've got some decent footage, so I will transfer it at least because I've got a habit of losing footage. Because I made a nice little sick video, yeah, nice time lapse, everything. Fucking left my GoPro on the fucking bus in Spain. Fucking long, literally long. Like, fucking fuck knows where that is now. But yeah, it's all good. Like, it's all good. But I just got a habit of doing that. Like, literally, I've got a habit of doing that. Just fucking forget shit. Just get stressed in the moment. But it is what it is. That was another thing that's kind of thrown me off in life, because it's just like, I always fucking let myself down, and it pisses me off. Like, I don't put effort into myself, but I put effort into the world. And it's just like I was annoyed, but then I had a really good trip, so it didn't matter. And I found coffee shops, and it was just it was really insignificant once it was all said and done. Like, yeah, it's my GoPro, but it wasn't like that deep. Like, I only had that footage on there. There wasn't any other footage on there. It was a brand new SD card, so nothing was on there that I needed. And then the GoPro is the GoPro. I had it ages. It served me well. Like, you know what I mean? I get another one and I can upgrade. But which reminds me, I need to do it before the next trip, because it's in a week or so. But I've just been sitting there smoking, so I haven't really been out. But yeah, the footage. I've got some good footage. But yeah, it does annoy me, as I was saying, that I don't look after myself. Like, I don't look after myself. This is what I mean about putting myself in situations where sometimes it's on purpose, but then it naturally happens, but then I take it to the next level where I just knowingly just fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, like, there's times where I knowingly I know that the situation is no good, but I'm like, yeah, let's just see what happens. Like, let's just see what happens. There's red flags, but just like, that's just me. But rather than using that, I don't use that. If you use that on the street, then you just get fucked up. Like, you just get fucked up. You get chewed up and spat out, because it doesn't matter how tough you think you are. Like, you just eventually you're gonna, if you're on the streets, then you're just eventually gonna. And I'm not talking about like our gangs and blah blah. I'm just talking about if you're walking in town and that's your life, just on the streets, like walking around and just going different places, then eventually, like, if you just keep like just throwing yourself out to the wolves, you're not gonna come out on top. Like, you're not. Like, you're not. Like, you're not. There's always gonna be someone that'll fuck you. So, but in a controlled environment, it's fine. Like, in a controlled environment, I thrive. Like, literally. I've been considering going back to work, because at the moment I've just been taking time off work. I've just not been working that much. Like, literally, the last job I had was like COVID. Ironically, like, literally, when everyone lost their jobs, that's the time I actually got one. That's the only time, and now the country's got jobs again. I don't have a job. But yeah, maybe I'll go back to security. Maybe, but I'd just do specific things, because CBA. Like, I really CBA. I don't even know why I'm saying it, because I really CBA. But maybe. But yeah, Nah, it's fucking done my thing. Because I can still do mad shit, yeah. If I'm just in a job that just does mad shit. Do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, I just feel I'm hiding. Like, I feel I'm hiding and I don't like it. But then if I'm just on my ones, and you're just a lone wolf, like you have to click with someone. Like you have to. Like you cannot just go through life. Like we're not meant to be alone. Like, you cannot go through life with no one. Like you have to click with someone. Otherwise you're gonna be finished. Like you'll be finished. But yeah. Also, there's this guy on the internet, and he speaks about using your voice as an instrument, or saying that your voice is an instrument and it should be used, like all of it, like the whole range of your voice should be used, and you should pitch your voice in terms of how you speak. And yeah, there is a point to that, but I just CBA, mate. I just can't be asked to explain. Basically, you got fucking see. Okay, that's a good example. He talks about correcting your words and not using like curse words and saying fucking as a filler or like but yeah or do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like things like those words. It's like taking them all out and just pausing, and then you talk. And if you're not sure what to say, you just take a pause, which is okay because it's just a pause. So you see, there's no ums and likes and ers. It's just yeah. See, he just but it's like training your brain, like literally training your brain. See, again, like literally, I just done it again. Training your brain not to say those meaningless words because it takes away from what you've just said. But I don't give a fuck. Like literally, I just want you to fucking understand what I'm fucking saying. You fucking cunts. Literally, some people in life are scalpels. Yeah, literally they're scalpels. Whereas I am just a sledgehammer. Just fucking have at it. Uh. Anyway, also, I'm gonna roll another spliff actually, but I can't wait to go swimming. There you go. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh, also, something that I've noticed in real life that's cropped up, which translates what that guy was saying about taking pauses. Naturally, I I do that anyway. I do that. I just pause when I speak because I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know what to say, and it's just, what is there to say? Like, what is there to say? So naturally that happens. And I try not to say things just for the sake of saying things. Like, but in real life, that's on a different note. That can be seen as rude or whatever. But I'm not rude. Sometimes I just be quiet, and then, like, for example, if I'm with a person or a group of people, then I'll just be quiet, and then you just see how full of shit they are. Like, you just don't say anything and just let people talk. Like, and then you just see without prompting them. Do you know what I mean? You just see what naturally they talk about, and then you can just see if they're full of shit or not. And then when I do that, people will call me out on it. But they call me out on it because they say, "Why are you not talking?" Or, but it's just like, well, what is there to say if you're not saying anything that matters to me? Then. But another thing, realization. This is what I mean. I get all these realizations, but then I don't fucking do anything about them. So it's like, what does that mean? It's just like, oh, it's so dumb. Anyway, the realization of fuck this. I don't know. I'm fucking stoned. I forgot what I was saying. It's weird on a video because like, I'm just talking, but you're watching a video, so you can easily just rewind and know what I was saying. Such good weed. This grinder I brought when I was in Spain, but it catches really well at the crystals, and I can scrape that out really nicely, as opposed to the other plastic acrylic grinders, which don't collect the weed very well at all. I feel you have to keep on top of them a lot more and maintain them, or just use them as a disposable grinder. Like this one. These are the ones I would normally these are the ones I'd normally go for. But the plastic, I don't know what it is. They look the same. Like, they look exactly the same, but they're not. But this plastic is better than this plastic. I know that sounds stupid, but they're not the same grinder. I mean, this one is slightly smaller, but and clunkier. And like, yeah, the bottom bit's not on, but see that. See how green that one is. It's a nice grinder, is what I'm getting at. It's not that deep, but I'm just saying, I like it. I was using my metal grinder, but it chews the weed, I find, so I've stopped. It turns out that one I've got at the moment is a way better at catching the crystal. Other than that, I don't really know a good grinder. I've all thought they was all the same shit, really, because I've had so many, and like, yeah, sometimes it's just like there's just one good one. Like I say, I found that plastic one that's alright. Otherwise, I just use the plastic acrylic ones and then throw them away when they get shit or break, because I've never seen the point of getting a nice, decent grinder. I'm nicely stoned, mate. I'm looking forward to the next trip. And yeah, make some sick time lapses. And hopefully don't fucking leave my GoPro. If you're still watching, then safe. I should probably say something deep and meaningful at this point, because it means that you just watch regardless. But yeah, I've got nothing, so safe watching. It's all good, mate. Like, it's all good. I just wanted to come on and try and use my words. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. I will upload a video at some point again. And yeah, stay blessed, stay lean, and peace.